What is going on, people of the internet? Man, it is 2022. I cannot believe it. You might not believe you are here with me, Ryan Baggett, your host of today's show, where we are going to recap digital marketing of 2021. It was a heck of a year for digital marketing, but before we get into it, just want to know how was your year? How's 2022 so far? Have you started to do things to increase your business yet? Have you started to do things to better your website, search engine optimization? Have you incorporated automation, AI, chatbots yet? Have you done these things? If you haven't, follow this channel and you're going to learn all of the nerdy things that are going to help your business grow. So, back to it. We're going to recap really quickly because it's late here on the East Coast. Recap digital marketing of 2021, and it was a heck of a year. Um, the first thing that I want to talk about as far as notable changes go is going to go straight to Google. Okay, this is such an important thing I don't talk about enough, I feel like, is the search side of the internet. Everyone loves social media to talk about the social media marketing. This is the fun stuff, but when people are searching for something, their intent a lot of times is a lot different than the intent that's found on social marketing. So what Google has done is they've changed, I believe it was in March, the way that they rank pages. So when you've got a website and you've invested all this time and money into it, you want people to go to it. You want people to visit your website. Well, if Google doesn't rank your website on the first page, the odds of your customer finding you are very, very slim. Google's done a lot of interesting things here recently. Some even may go against some traditional thinking of SEO, but we'll get to that when we get there. But for now, the interesting thing that happened last year and the thing that affected a lot of websites, even a lot of the larger websites, was Google decided to, instead of ranking the page based on the desktop experience, because more people now are searching on mobile, they have now switched. So your mobile version, or the way that your site is viewed on mobile, is going to be the way that Google grades your overall page in order for it to rank. So it is very important that you have a mobile friendly website. I like to say mobile first. This is a good way to think. The second thing we'll look at here is how Apple just changed the whole game. What Apple did was they said, well, these push notifications are driving people nuts, especially people like Ryan. He's just all the time getting these notifications. Plus, all these other third party advertisers are winning with our customers. We're not winning, and our customers are getting annoyed. What can we do? Well, they decided to kill, before it even really got started, push notification marketing. Essentially, what happens now, if you've got an iPhone, you know this. Anytime you download a new app, anytime you visit a website for the first time, or at least in a while, you're going to get a notification. And it's going to say something like, do you want to allow this application, this app, to track you? Yes or no? Track me, don't track me. Well, what do you think the majority of people are pushing? Do they want to get tracked? No. So this is really, really changed the game as far as retargeting goes. It used to be, you know, either you had a Apple or Android phone, it didn't matter. If, for example, you as a customer downloaded a company's app and you used it, whether you had the push notifications on or not, they would be able to still track certain things that you did on your phone. Maybe it was websites you went to or other applications you had, but the company potentially had access more so than maybe met the eye, is kind of the philosophy here. And so now Apple's saying, hey, if you don't want any of that to happen, you've got control right up front. Well, if you look deeper, that's what is really going on. Apple, and it's going to continue in a big way in 2022. They're going to have their own more robust ecosystem of advertising to you, the customer. They're just not going to share as much of their customer base with third parties, and they're going to take a stab at, trying to push the needle. If you've seen things like Apple News on your phone appear quite often, like I have until I turned it off, this is their attempt to, monetize their users and further, I guess, the customer value, in my opinion. This leads us to a second part here, which I think this is the big one. This is probably the one that if you're listening to my show, you're probably concerned with social media. This is probably your main thing. And so this is a big one because Apple just like totally stuck it to the homie Zuck. And you probably, if you've ran an ad in the past year, I can guarantee you've seen the notification that's like, oh, if you haven't heard, Apple's ruining the ad game, basically is what is being said. And they're talking about, the iOS 14 update's going to change the way ads are ran on Facebook. Well, that may be. And there may be certain industries out there that I'm not a part of or don't know about, that maybe this has been a thing. But in all of the industries that we work with, this has not been the case. Our ads have been just as effective now as they were 2 years ago. Maybe not 3 years ago because, things did change over time. It's gotten harder, but it's not gotten this drastically difficult journey in the ads game. It's essentially the same. And I think it's interesting that so many big businesses and brands have just bought into this doom and gloom, and part of it is on Facebook's fault. They really pushed the blame and the fault on Apple. And meanwhile, Apple's like, hey, we're just trying to protect our people, protect our users. This is so nerdy, right? But it's really interesting to see the friction that these larger companies create. And in this case, it's pretty big. It's kind of disruptive, but the thing that's really annoying, and look it up. Of course, I like chatbots and SMS messaging. Text message 2.0 is here. What I mean by that is RCS messaging. Shout out to Eric, gave me the little nudge to talk about it. I've mentioned it a couple times before. RCS messaging is essentially what we can do in apps like Messenger. We can send, links and videos and dynamic content sometimes. When it comes to Apple and Android phones communicating with each other, if I send a text message with a video to my buddy who has an Android phone versus an Apple phone, the received message is different. On an Apple phone, it's an iMessage. It's much more efficient, faster, high quality message. When it's a video sent to an Android user, that video is going to be compressed. It's going to look nasty, and vice versa. When an Android user sends that video to me as an iPhone user, it's not going to ever look as good. This is an issue. The problem here, the way I see it, Apple was way ahead of the game with iMessage. It was a much better and a much more advanced way to text message with your friends who had Apple. Android basically used the old school text message SMS. Well, now Android and Google phones and the other guys, all other brands outside of Apple, mainly just Android, is really the one that I would think of, they've all adopted RCS, and so have the major phone carriers. So Apple now is holding back progress for, a unified, one and done text messaging system because they're stuck on iMessage. They're not going to leave it. And you've got Google and everyone else, including the carriers that have already evolved. So these little fights that we see in the big tech bro space, it's really fun to see as an outsider, but at the same time, it's so annoying as a consumer because we just want our stuff to work. And it'd be great if it would just work across the board. So the last little tidbit I'm going to bring up is something I am really passionate about. And it's what Google's done. Early last year, they introduced it, or maybe 2020 actually, that was introduced, and we got access in 2021. Google Business Messages. You guys have heard me talk about that. And I've referenced the Google My Business listing. Well, that's incorrect terminology on my part at this point. The formerly known as Google My Business listing is no more. You do not have a Google My Business listing. What you have now is called, what is it called here? A Google, what is it? Business profile. So, along with Facebook's rebrand of Meta, Google also did some rebranding here in 2021, which I think is really interesting to see. Both giants do quite a bit of rebranding here. In Google's case, no more Google My Business, it's business profile. And the idea here, twofold, they wanted to make it easier for a business owner to update and claim their business listings. So they could, as a business owner, Google their business and find it. If hopefully they'd be able to find it at least. Then they'd have the option to claim it right on the page, rather than go through the old school process of signing in here, then navigating here and clicking here. They just right on the page, and then you can also make an update, just like you can update your Facebook or Instagram post. You can update your business listing from the Google search page. Along with that, and my favorite part, and we'll get my little reflector screen here ready, they introduced Google Business Messaging. Very, very similar to Facebook Messenger or Instagram DMs. Google now has this ability. So what we'll do, we'll pull up Reflector here. We'll try to, at least. How are y'all doing out there? Y'all awake? Y'all should be sleeping. But the ones that aren't, they must want to learn the things. All right, so let's see if we can get Reflector here. Come on, Reflector. And we'll share my screen. Here we go. Where's my music at? Boom, boom. Everything's good. How was y'all's new year? Boom, and here we go. We're sharing our screen. Bam. All right. Where do we want to be with this phone here? Boom. Can y'all see that? Do y'all see my phone here? I hope so. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to show you a couple things, actually. The first thing I'll show you here is the Google Business Messaging feature. So let's just go to Google, start fresh. See my screen okay? Perfect. What I'm going to do is, just to make it easy, I'm going to Google my business agency name, Baggett's Bonds. So we can see, because I'm signed in as Ryan and I manage the business, I can see how many views I've gotten this month so far. This is only a couple days, but I can view a message. There's a customer message is waiting for me. That's me. I can see my reviews, and then boom, right here, what do you know? There's the chat icon button. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this button. Boom. This is Google Business Messages. And if you do not have Tap the Table and you don't have a Baggett Spots website, you're probably not going to have these two buttons here, or potentially two buttons called Quick Replies, available. Okay. You're probably going to maybe have a welcome message, but you're probably not going to have a way to start a conversation with your customer. In this case, I've got three options. I can click on, as a customer, click to get started, customer support, or I can type something. So in this case, I'm going to imagine I'm a customer out there, and I saw one of our ads that Wendy made, her awesome graphics. And Wendy's graphic says, click here or comment or message us about our free website audit. So that's what I'll do. I'll say, I heard that you guys were giving away free website audits. Can I please have an audit for my website? So the chat bot, Baggett bot secretary, who never sleeps, gets paid well, never sleeps, he or she, the bot, has sent us a button that says, get your free audit. So that was easy enough. Let's click the button. I love Google Business Messages. And now we're brought to a page that says, get your free audit. Let's do that. So let's put our website in there. https:// You just put your website in there, in this case. And again, how do we get here? You know, I can't put my little branding in there. Let's spell it like the internet likes it. How did we get here again, guys? What we did, we Googled my agency, Baggett's Bonds, from the Google listing on my phone. And again, you must do this, guys. If you want to do experience Google Business Messages, you must do this from your phone. You can't do it from your desktop. So from my phone, I Googled my business, hit the message button, and I said, yo, let me get an audit. Put the phone number in there, and check your website. So 2 clicks, I entered my information in, and boom, we're coming through, and we're going to get a grade here. And of course, our website gets an A+. We do have 4 recommendations. Sometimes I don't follow all recommendations, but these are pretty good. It's going to show you different things that you can do to improve your site. And this is free, guys. There are companies out there that this is their lead gen magnet. In this case, you could maybe call that a lead gen magnet tool for us, but at the end of the day, what we want to do is just make sure businesses in Bluffton and Hilton Head have a way to understand the health of their websites. If they need help, they know how to reach us, but obviously some people out there are more equipped to do things nowadays. So if they know the problem with their website, maybe they can fix it themselves, save some money, and think of us in a very positive light. The website audit tool is one of the first ways that I'd like to bring value just to the general area here where I live this year in 2022. I think that's the important thing that we have to remember as business owners here. You got to give back to the community in any way you can. And so in this case, if you know a business owner or you're a business owner and you want to check the health of your website, feel free to use that tool anytime you'd like. Let's see, do we have anything else we want to hit before we take it all flying here? So how do we plan to win in 2022? The plan for me, I think, is going to remain the same, and that is to conquer social, conquer the web and automation, and keep the eyes and ears to the streets and see what's happening, what's moving, what's the market saying. And all the signs that we've seen so far just lean to what we've been doing the past several years. And digital marketers around the world have been doing the same thing, the ones that are actually awake and paying attention and trying to be better and understand what's going on. The indicators that have been winners for the past 3 years are to continue to win. And I think video marketing is still probably the number one route to the conversion. I think video, it can start and end with video. Automation is going to become more and more important. And that lead gen and nurturing that many OG marketers have been doing for a while now, out of like just to demonstrate how advanced they are and their systems are. And it's been the case that they've been the most advanced marketers. Well, nowadays that thing's required. If you don't have automation working in your business, I can show you many ways where you've got inefficiencies. And with the inflation and the just economy working the way it is, inefficiencies are not going to help. They are going to hurt tremendously. And if you guys have any questions, obviously, reach out to us, and we'll do the best we can to give you the help you need. Thanks again for watching, and y'all have a good one.